again, thank you very much for being with us. I just want to review some of the statistics that you have. Now, you were head coach at Lancaster Catholic for 5 years and an assistant for 2 with Mike Davis, under Mike Davis. You led the Crusaders to consecutive LL League championship games in 2012 and 2013, and you coached Catholic to its first baseball title, LL baseball title, in 2013. The Crusaders claimed consecutive Section 4 championships in 2012 and 2013. You completed a run that saw them capture 3 section crowns in 4 seasons, and Catholic boasted back-to-back 20-win seasons in 2012 and 2013. Kiehl, Coach Kiehl, and his staff developed numerous All-State and Division I players as well. That is a sterling record, Coach. And so my biggest question is, why are you leaving? I mean, you're relatively young, 74 wins, 39 losses. You're just starting.
Yeah, it's probably one of the hardest decisions I've had to make in the last few years. But, you know, over the last few years of coaching at the assistant level and head coach level, I had opportunities professionally that I passed up because I really wanted to see something through and at least get to a point with this program that I felt like you could hand it off. And the timing was right. This summer, you know, I had a pretty nice offer come my way, and I don't want to, you know, pass up too much, but this was something that I felt that I should take.
Right.
And
now, is this for you're a chef, am I right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This has to do with food and culinary employment.
Yeah, so it's
That's exciting.
I'd be an executive chef, and you know, there's more to come. Still trying to figure out what the name will be called, but I mean, it's really what I like to do. One of my passions, as well as this. But you know, a few years down the road, I can maybe be in a position where I can get back into doing something like this.
Right. Great. This is probably an obvious question, but did you always want to coach? I mean, I know you were a ball player at SWS. You know, you went to high school here. You're a local kid. You went to Millersville, had a sterling baseball career there. Probably thought about maybe going professional. And then, but did you always know in the back of your mind, I want to coach one day? Or tell us about yourself. You know, who is Chris, and how did you become a coach?
Well, okay, so I went to LS. I had the opportunity to play for, you know, in my opinion, one of the greatest baseball coaches around the area, Ty Garber. He really, over the years, allowed me to stick with, even, you know, in college, to come back and coach the camps and stuff, and give back to the little guys. I really developed a niche with communicating. You know, and then in college, you know, I did okay to start, and I ended up getting into arm trouble after my sophomore season. So I had arm surgery.
You were a pitcher, right?
I was a pitcher in college. And then after that, I had to take about a year off, basically a season and a year and a half off. And that was the first time I ever stopped playing the game. So during that time, I wasn't sure what I was going to do. Coach Garber asked me if I was interested in volunteering as a coach at LS. You know, I thought about it probably for a minute and then said yes, because I don't know what else I would do. So I took that on. It was awesome. I coached a lot of great players that came up through LS during that time. Evan King, to name one of them. Adam Bukowski was another guy. Chad Babcock. There's a bunch of guys, actually. Adam Lefevre.
Right, nice.
And they all
good. What names?
They all went on and had some pretty good careers. I think Evan King
was Bianchi over there at the time?
Bianchi, Tim was in my grade. He graduated with me, and his younger brother was 2 years behind me, Jeff.
Oh, he was. You played with him?
Oh, yeah,
in high school. Nice.
He was our shortstop when I was a senior.
Now, when you were with, I had interviewed Garber, and his interview is on this site as well. He said to me that there was a certain way to teach the game, and a respect for the game. Did you, obviously, you probably, you being a player under him, you probably incorporated that in your playing style. Did that come into your coaching as well, trying to teach the game of baseball, how it should be played, and having a respect for the game?
Absolutely. You know, there's a difference between being a baseball coach and being a football coach or a basketball coach. And my opinion is, you can't fire guys up that they're going to run through a brick wall, because that doesn't really necessarily work. You got to be able to coach, get people on the same page, bring people together, So when there's that time in a game, when you need to, push them, they're going to react. Because if you push them all the time, it's kind of like crying wolf.
Thing about coaching.
Well, one of the hardest things about coaching is, when you see a guy consistently doing something wrong, and it's just not what you're teaching them isn't making sense, and they're still having minor success doing it their way, and it's really hard. I mean, it takes some time and a little bit of failure up front to get through it and really change to become a better player. But it's something where you want players to be at a different level. You don't want them to just be complacent hitting 300. You want guys hitting 470 and accidentally hitting home runs.
How important is it to have boosters or the parents behind you as well? Is that a big deal in high school?
That was probably one of the most important things here, because how far back Catholic baseball was. It wasn't. You can look around these dugouts. Parents painted these,
right,
and they were all white, and they used to get graffiti sprayed all over them. We had the paneling coming off the front. We had beehives. I'm sure a lot of players know about that.
No grass, which you now have.
No grass. We have.
You have a fence now with a name on it, and your section title. You look legit now.
Well, and it's not done. And like things we wanted to finish was pull out this whole backstop, get that rusty look out of here.
Right. Maybe like what Hempfield has.
Exactly.
It's a nice look. They've done a great job.
And for so long, they had that green shed backed up behind there, and they told us we couldn't move it. Not that they didn't want to, because they thought it'd be a good idea, but physically. And I was like, I don't know. I told it to a few parents, and they took care of it, and that was awesome. That was one of the coolest days we've had out here. Was moving that shed with all the parents 2 years ago, and we painted the dugouts. We did so much stuff. The parents put a lot of money up to get that scoreboard. A lot of cool things happened in the last few years.
So what's the best thing about coaching?
To be able to give back to somebody, and it feeds energy back into you. For instance, this past winter, I saw we had a St. Leo camp for little guys, and the two players that were able to help me, one was Ian Bentley and Brian Haberstroh. They came with me to Lanco Fieldhouse, and I had about 30 or 40 kids just running around, little kids. And the really cool thing was that I was able to rely on Ian and Habs to come through and not just help me there by handing balls out, but they actually were coaching and teaching the kids exactly the way I would have taught them. And that's really cool to really see that, the development. I got the opportunity.
Watch boys become men, really.
Yeah, and you pass the game on to somebody else, and they might tweak it and change it a little bit, and they pass it on to somebody else, and that's how it continues. That's why it's such a cool. That's why it's a great pastime.
What will you miss most about coaching?
Probably game day. You're having a tough day at work, but really all you're thinking about is lineup and getting out here and just seeing it's like springtime. You're so sick of the cold winter. You roll out in the field. Even if it's not the perfect conditions, you're still out in the field. You're still with your team. You get just fired up. It's so great. It's the best feeling.
It's very exciting.